Hello everyone, welcome to For His Namesake. We're glad that you've joined us. You'll have to excuse Matt Valentine, she's squinting because the sun is right in
It just happened to come
in her face, and then I've got a bit of a lisp. When I sleep in the upright position, I guess I'm not aware of what's happening, but suddenly my head will just bump down, and when I do that, I take a chunk out of my tongue, so to speak, and so it hurts. Yeah, so just bear with us. But today we're going to be talking about OCD. Another term for that is obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, I don't know if some people have that, like that's an actual disorder that they've been diagnosed with, or if people just have that tendency to overly think something or overly do something. I'm not sure, but I know that our entire family has some form of OCD tendencies. For example, I guess I'll start with me. When we were living in a home, everybody was already waiting in the car or truck ready to go somewhere, like for example church on Sunday morning, and we were always running late because of me. I was checking light switches in every room, making sure they were turned off. I was making sure that nobody's iPad or anything was charging, because those get pretty hot and I get nervous about that, so I would unplug those and much to my children's dismay, but things like that would just make me very nervous, so I would unplug all those. Anything that didn't need to be plugged in, I would unplug it, and then check doors, make sure they were locked, check windows to make sure they were down. We did not have an alarm system on our windows. We did on the doors, but not the windows. So I made sure, because sometimes we like to open up the window to get some fresh air in. But and I would do that several times. After I had already done it once, then I'd go through the house again. And this was a very large house that we lived in previously before we became homeless. And yeah, so I would check it at least 2 or 3 times, and then I count to myself. And then I tell myself, I think I did that 3 times, but I better check it one more time. And so that's what I would do. Anyway, so that's an example of obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, I've never been diagnosed with this, but obviously I have a problem with that. Now, what is your OCD?
Well, right now it's crickets.
That's
like
right.
every evening, even before the crickets start to come out, I'm already thinking about them. I'm already stressing out about it because they just freak me out so much. I really can't stand them. I'm sorry if you do, but I just can't stand the shiny bodies, and they're hopping, and some are quite large and they fly. That just really scares me. So my heart's already starting to go by the time it's getting a little dusk, and I start OCDing, and I'm telling people in the truck, make sure the doors are closed, make sure the windows are closed. No one opened the door for very long.
Yeah, and some of you may think, well, that's a fear. Well, it is a fear, but she's so fearful of them that it's become an obsession to her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can obsess about things, not just of things that we like, but we can obsess with things that we don't like, things that we just can't stand. We obsess over, we think about it over and over again. And poor Valentine, she's had them on her before,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll scream and, you know, just kind of shake a little bit. She's just terrified of those things. I mean, I don't particularly like them, but I'm not terrified of them like she is. So she's always thinking of them all the time, especially at night, because that's when they come out. So, poor Valentine. Anyway, she looks hilarious. I know we should do this, but sometimes different people will record her on our phone because she's just so funny. She looks funny to us, but I know it's terrifying to her, poor thing.
It's an embarrassing phobia.
Yes. And then we have another family member that's very into cleanliness and constant. Now we all we all use antibacterial, what do you call those? Hand sanitizers for everything. I mean, we've just gone to the bathroom and we can't wash our hands. We'll use that. If we're at a restaurant, we clean our hands first with a hand sanitizer. Some restaurants have that on hand, but again, we OCD about that. Like, is it clean? I don't know. We better use our own, that kind of thing. I mean, we're constantly, or we'll clean the table with a hand sanitizer and a napkin. So we're and that was already before COVID. We were already like this before COVID. So the whole family is very into, not so much my husband, he's not so picky about that. Growing up on a farm, I don't think people, they're kind of more laid back. They're not so, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Picky, obsessed, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, let's see, we have other family members that are, they don't like certain things, and so they're like, for example, I don't know if I can say the paper towels mixed with water, for example, and they just don't want to touch that. I don't know if that's an OCD problem or if that's just I don't know how to explain that. I'm not sure, or just something they don't like. I don't know. And then, of course, Valentine does not like, I'm going to have to say the word now, she does not like candies. So anytime anyone has candies or chocolates, because that's the same thing as candies, then she'll obsess over that to the point of, please don't eat that around me, don't have that in the truck, don't have that around me. And then the smells of those linger on, or she'll hear the wrapping paper. And this is not to put you on the spot, but just to give you an example of how much it bothers her to have that around. It's not just a regular, I don't like candies, don't eat that around me, but it's a really, it's OCD. And this is not to make fun of her, but it's just to give you an example in case you are going through that, or you know someone who has a similar situation like that. There's so many we could list, but we were talking about that just a few minutes ago, my husband and I and Valentine, and we were wondering how that comes about. So what did we find out? Because I've been talking here nonstop. Do you want to switch? Because I don't mind. I'm probably taller than you, so it probably won't hit me as bad.
Try.
So let's go and do that real quick. You'll have to excuse us, and we don't need to stop the video for this. We can just, switch places here, and that's fine. And maybe it won't hit me as bad as it will you because I'm taller, and so maybe it won't hit me as bad as it will. See, I'm doing okay now. This is fine. Yeah,
It's right on you.
that's okay, but it's not bothering me though. Okay. So we were talking about how OCD comes about,
Well,
and what did we discover?
comes from fear a lot of the times, or something that happened in your past, and so anytime you think about that or something triggers it, you're gonna have OCD about it, like some sort of trauma, or just a general dislike of something, and then you keep thinking it over and over again. That's what obsessive compulsive is. You're constantly thinking. You think too much.
Right.
And I'm sure there's other ways of people getting OCD. If you have OCD and you don't mind sharing, you can say what you think is a cause of it.
Yeah. And then I forgot to mention too that years ago when I was a child, I don't know how old I was very young, and we lived in a kind of like I guess it was a condo because we had a top and a bottom, but we were in no sense rich. We just had the bare minimums basically. We had a TV, and I remember having a jar of coins that we were counting to see, how much it would come up to be, and a radio maybe back in the day when we had radios, but we didn't have much. But nevertheless, we came home one day, and the coat closet was downstairs, and my mom went to open up the cloak closet, and a man was standing there with a gun pointing at her, and of course we're screaming as kids, and he just says, tell your kids to be quiet, put them upstairs in the bedroom. And so anyway, that has stuck with me for the rest of my life. So, and believe it or not, just on a side note, at that time it was Texas Most Wanted. He was found at the next city over, thank God, but that was quite frightening, but it's been with me all these years. So of course, when I get home, what is the first thing I do? I check the coat closet or the pantry closet. It's the same thing. Even if we have an alarm on the house, that's the first place I go, is I open up the coat closet and I check to make sure. I kind of stand back and look around and see if I can see any feet, and then I kind of move the kind of punch into the closet. I do whatever I can to just to make sure no one's in there. It's terrifying. So that's just something that's always been with me. So yeah, that's an example of OCDing right there. Mm-hmm. Just because, like she was saying, it was caused by trauma of some sort in our life. So, so that is the advantage of being in the situation that we're in right now. I don't have to worry about checking any closets because we ain't got none.
Yeah.
So we don't have any. That was improper English. I cannot say we ain't got any. We don't have any. Okay.
Well, we're from Texas.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. So this is just going to be. This was going to be just a short little discussion on, obsessive compulsive disorder. And I don't know if anybody, like if you're from another country and you're watching this, do you suffer from that over there in other countries? I don't know, because I know I've lived around the world, but that was just something we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about OCD. I don't even think we knew what that was back in my day. I don't know. Or is it another part of like a chemical imbalance? Like people have these ailments called was it called AHD or ADH?
ADHD.
Attention deficit something rather. I mean, that was not in my day. We didn't have that in my day that I know of. So again, the OCD, maybe that's something new. I don't know. If y'all know the answers, be sure to let us know in the comments down below. And I think Valentine has some scripture to share.
Before we do that, there are some ways that maybe you can do to help yourself. First, pray. Of course, pray that God would take away this fear or this OCD. Even if it's not really fear, maybe it's just a general dislike. Like if you don't like germs, then that's like you think about, oh, don't touch the germs, Just pray to God about it first. Read the scriptures, and if it's getting to the point where it's really, really bad, you may want to seek counseling.
Yeah, biblical counseling, very important. As a Christian, you don't want to just go to any counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you pass me my phone, I do have some scripture.
If you can see with this bright sun.
I know. It's morning. It's 9:22 in the morning, so the sun is rising right now. So, this is from Psalm 55:22. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he shall sustain you. He shall never permit the righteous to be moved. You may think, well, OCD is not a burden. Like, it's not like some trial. But it is. It is a burden. If it's weighing heavy on you and it's causing you distress, then it is a burden. And you're supposed to cast it onto him. It's on his shoulders now. You don't have to carry the weight of it anymore.
Yeah.
Something that I need to remember. And another passage to help might be Philippians 4, that famous passage where be anxious for nothing, pray with thanksgiving, and the peace of God will guard your hearts. And then that Philippians 4:8, you think of the things that are true, noble, pleasant. Think positive things instead.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect timing for this discussion to end. Here comes a very loud airplane in the background. Oh my goodness, there's always something.
So many distractions. A while ago I got distracted with the wasp flying around.
Yes. Well, we hope that you've been intrigued. If you did not enjoy this conversation, hopefully you've been intrigued by it and maybe learned something new. Okay.
And leave some comments down below of how we can pray for you, or if you have been able to combat OCD, be victorious over it. Maybe that'll give other people hope that it is possible to overcome.
Please,
with Jesus' help.
Definitely want to know about that one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And don't forget, we have to keep reminding y'all to please remember that you can submit true stories to our God in Our Stories, and check some of those out. So far, me and Valentine have contributed, and my husband, and we've had a viewer contribute as well. So please, we'd love to hear your true stories. Everybody has a true story to tell, whether it was from your childhood or something that happened to you as an adult, or maybe it was a family member and they don't mind you sharing their true story. It doesn't have to be perfect. We can edit it to make it flow nicer if you're worried about that. But be sure to keep those coming, okay?
Because if you don't, then you're just going to continue to hear from me and my parents. And we don't mind, but we don't know if you're going to get tired of that.
Well, we did have a viewer bring in hers, and that was a very lovely story. What was it called again? Oh, something precious moments at my grandma and grandpa's house. So check that one out. That was a really good story. And so and I know we've had some people say they're going to bring their stories in, so come on now, we'd love to hear them, or know about them rather, so don't be shy now. And of course you can always join our membership too, the Fishers of Men. It's for both women and men, and it's only 99 cents a month plus tax. You know, YouTube puts in some tax, so it'll be $1 something, but that's as cheap as we could get it.
Yeah.
We're not about the money making here. It's just to support us, and sometimes we do some fun things like bloopers, and you get to see the songs earlier, and we do some extra songs that Valentine and I have written, and we're trying to come up with some more ideas for the members as well.
So members, if you're listening, we need your help for video ideas.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we hope that you like, subscribe, and click the notification bell, and Lord willing, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.